Hey, it's Adam Witt. Got a cool battle going on. Yeah, just one legendary, but I think we'll make it work. So the last blog I did, I was talking about, what makes, I wouldn't say what makes me better than God, but it was more of the start of the rivalry of what made me feel the way that I did for God. And now I want to talk about what makes me better than God and what do I have to give to the world and stuff. So let's just start this battle and I'll start talking. Got a shiny Salamence here to play with, so let's give this a try. I'm gonna save Mega Evolution for Rayquaza. Just gonna go Blizzard. I like the wings on this thing just before I start talking about the whole God thing. I love the wings on that Salamence. Of course the Blizzard's gonna miss. Alright. I'm gonna go Psychic. To start things off with, okay, he's withdrawing, okay. Sending out Charizard. So I guess to start off with the whole what makes me better than God, first of all, the big one, education. I have education that is, high school education to 2 years of college. That's something God doesn't have. So that's the biggest plus right there. In order to be a good leader, like President Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton, all the biggest leaders out there, you need to have a good education. I'm not saying that you need to have a complete education, but you gotta have something to put on your frickin' resume, at the least. Alright, let's just use Shadow Ball to finish off Charizard here. The next thing that I have that says I have potential is that $1 billion. I know what the people want in this world. What we need to make this world successful is we need to have people with more money. And not just that, we need to have money to make our lives successful. How are we supposed to eat? How are we supposed to have clothes and a house and shelter and stuff like that if we don't have money? There are people overseas as of right now that never even heard of a good shelter, let alone good food and all that stuff. So that's the next thing that I have to offer is money to make this world a better place. That's the biggest problem that we have, is not having enough of it. The next thing is I'm not self-centered. The world doesn't revolve around me, where with God everything revolves around him. He couldn't even make the 10 commandments without the first 3 being about himself. Thou shalt not use his name in vain, thou shalt not have any other gods, and thou shalt honor the Sabbath. Hey, my commandments are easy to follow. Let's just all get along with each other. No bullying, no killing, no stealing. All it comes down to is just get along with each other. Don't make such a big thing about picking fun at someone's small flaws. Love the person for who they are. I'm also a very mature person. That's the other thing that we need. Is someone who is mature. Do you want somebody whose first idea of defense when something isn't going his way is that we should go out on an attack, go kill a lot of creatures off or kill humans off just to try to make a point, try to drive their point across? Or you want someone who says, my goal is to establish peace right off the get-go, right from the start, and not let my ego get the best of me? Excuse me, my nose itches. Ugh. And that's all that I have to basically say about that. That's what I have to offer. And the other thing is too, when it comes right down to it, flat down, right out down to it, when we have new leaders, good things happen. God has had his opportunity already. He's had his chance to prove that he is the King of Kings. He's had his chance at the throne, and it needs to be someone else's turn who has a good vision to make this world a better place, someone who is educated, and and someone who hasn't killed, And the thing is, too, I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. We need to have new leadership every once in a while. Now, I don't like the fact that we have to, kill God to get that, or put God to hell because of his actions. Hey, I admit he's done good things, but you need to hold him accountable for his actions, though. And that's the last reason, too. I haven't killed anybody out of anger or to try to prove a point. I've loved every person that has been brought into this world. Like I said, how many opportunities are we going to give God before we find out that he's just not what's right for this world? How many opportunities are we going to give him before the world falls apart and he ain't going to be able to pick up the pieces? How many times are we going to allow him to make mistakes that are costing our lives, putting our lives in danger, and we're just going to let him do it? And that's what it does come down to, We've given him many opportunities. We've given him his chances to make things better, and he hasn't done anything about it. I believe in a 3-strike system, but this is with God, who's had 1 trillion strikes, and he's still screwing things up with the world. He's still messing up. And then the only thing is when it comes down to it, he's uneducated. Uneducated people are only going to keep making mistakes if they're leaders. They're going to keep falling short when it comes to the humans that serve this world. Now, I know a lot of people are out there saying, well, we can't kill God. He made his ultimate sacrifice, Jesus Christ, and I just don't really care about that. Forgiveness of sins is between two people. We never needed Jesus. We never needed to make sacrifices. You want to know what forgiveness is? This is what it looks like in a real world. You slap me across the face, and then and you can sit there and say you're sorry. And that's more likely what will happen. Someone says they're sorry, and then it's my decision if I forgive you or not. And more likely I am. You don't need to have some Jesus guy come in the middle and like, okay, well now I gotta bless this, I gotta make it official. He forgave him now. No, you don't need communion to go and forgive someone's sins or anything like that. Dude, seriously, forgiveness is two people. Not three, not a billion. It's between the two. Unless you screwed off a lot of people at one time or another, well then that'd be another thing. But you don't need a spiritual thing in between it. You want to talk about ultimate sacrifices? I'll tell you what the ultimate sacrifices is. The troops that go out overseas to fight to make sure our country is safe. It's what the troops do on an everyday basis so that we can sleep tonight, not having to fear if the terrorists are going to come and take over. That's the ultimate sacrifice. God did not make an ultimate sacrifice. He just sat there and put a guy on the world and sat there and said, go make a sacrifice for yourself so I can make myself look good. I admit, when it comes to the stories of Jesus, I love the parts where he was like, oh, I went and traveled the world healing people and doing all that. That was probably the best part of the Bible in its entirety. That just made Jesus look good. Excuse me, nose itches again. And that's what I like about Jesus. It was all about doing the right thing all the time. But I don't think that Jesus going to the cross was necessary. We always had forgiveness all along. We knew how to forgive. So now that I've explained what makes me better than God and what I have to offer the world, which is, patience. I have that to offer, the $1 billion billion. Next time I'm just going to kind of wrap things up. So, whoops. So yeah, to kind of just sum up this part of things, yeah, I have a lot more better things to offer God. Like the fact that I am not self-centered. Like the fact that I am educated. That I can put the needs of the people before my own needs. And like I said, a new leadership does make things go a lot better. That's why we have new presidents all the time. Because in time, we always have to have new leadership so everyone has a chance to take a crack at figuring out how to make this world a better place. So, and that's just the same thing with God. We need to take him to hell for the sins that he's committed, and we need to have a leader that knows what they're doing and get this world back on track. So, well, with my next blog, we'll be wrapping things up and just kind of calling it good, and then we'll do other things for my Pokemon blogs. Thanks for watching.